It was a quiet Tuesday afternoon in Crestwood, a small town where everyone knew everyone. The sun cast long shadows as Sarah Thompson, a 17-year-old, walked down Main Street. Her hand gently rested on her growing belly as she thought about her baby on the way. Life hadn't been easy, but Sarah was determined to make the best of it. Suddenly, the sound of a police siren cut through the peaceful air. A police car pulled up next to Sarah, and out stepped Officer Dan Harper, known around town for his harsh attitude toward minorities. His cold blue eyes narrowed in on Sarah, who was visibly startled by the abrupt stop. "Where are you going?" Officer Harper barked, his hand resting on his holster. His tone wasn't one of concern, but one of suspicion. Sarah, startled but trying to remain calm, replied, "Just going to the grocery store, sir." Harper's gaze flickered down to her belly, and something about her appearance seemed to trigger a flash of contempt in his eyes. "You got ID on you?" he demanded. Sarah fumbled nervously with her purse. "Yes, sir, but why do you need to see it?" "I'm just walking. Do I look like I care what you're doing?" Harper interrupted, stepping closer. "People like you are always up to no good. Don't make me ask again." Sarah's heart raced. She had no idea what was happening. Something felt terribly wrong. "People like me?" she asked, confused and scared. Harper sneered, "You know exactly what I mean." Just as Sarah was about to hand over her ID, Harper grabbed her arm forcefully. "You're under arrest," he said coldly. "For what?" Sarah cried out, tears already welling up in her eyes. Her pulse quickened, and panic set in. "For resisting an officer," he replied, yanking her toward the police car. Sarah's mind raced. She hadn't resisted. She had done nothing wrong. Her heart pounded in her chest, not just for herself, for the baby she was carrying. "Please," she pleaded, her voice cracking. "I'm pregnant. You can't do this." Harper ignored her, slamming her against the hood of the car to cuff her. The rough treatment sent pain shooting through Sarah's body, and her tears streamed uncontrollably down her face. People passing by stared, some pulling out their phones to record the disturbing scene. But no one intervened. As Harper shoved her into the back seat, Sarah felt a sharp pain in her stomach. "Please," she begged again. "Something's wrong. I need help." Harper didn't listen. To him, Sarah was just another young black girl who in his mind was probably up to no good. He didn't care about her pleas. He didn't care about her baby. In the police station, as Harper smugly booked her, Sarah's pain grew worse. She kept begging for help, but her cries fell on deaf ears. It wasn't until Officer Jenkins, a fellow cop, walked by that someone took notice. "Harper, what the hell are you doing?" Jenkins asked, eyeing the young girl who was now pale and clutching her stomach. "Just taking care of business," Harper replied dismissively. Jenkins, however, wasn't convinced. He knelt beside Sarah, his eyes wide with concern. "Are you okay? What's going on?" Sarah could barely speak through the pain. "Please, I'm pregnant. I need a doctor." Jenkins quickly assessed the situation, his face hardening as he turned to Harper. "Why wasn't she taken to a hospital? She's clearly in distress." Harper shrugged, uninterested. "She's faking it, was trying to get out of trouble." Jenkins couldn't believe what he was hearing. He immediately called for an ambulance, his heart pounding with fear for the young girl. The paramedics arrived minutes later, rushing Sarah to the hospital. By then, she was fading in and out of consciousness. If you're enjoying this story, please kindly like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. Now back to the story. At the hospital, doctors moved swiftly. Sarah was in labor, weeks too early, and the stress her body had endured put both her and her baby at risk. Hours passed in agonizing silence as Jenkins waited anxiously in the hospital corridor, guilt gnawing at him. Finally, a doctor emerged. "He's stable now," he said, "but it was close. Baby's premature but alive." Relief washed over Jenkins, but it was short-lived. Harper had nearly cost this young girl her life and her baby's because of his racist, unjust action. News of the arrest spread like wildfire. The videos taken by witnesses went viral. Protests erupted in Crestwood, demanding justice for Sarah. Harper was placed on immediate suspension as the investigation unfolded. Sarah, recovering in the hospital with her newborn daughter in her arms, knew that her life would never be the same. The town rallied behind her, people of all races coming together to denounce the hate Harper represented. The protests weren't just about Sarah anymore. They were about every person who had ever been mistreated, discriminated against, or unfairly targeted because of the color of their skin. The incident with Officer Harper showed the world just how destructive and dangerous racism can be when it's given power. It was a painful reminder that no one should ever be judged or mistreated because of the color of their skin, their background, or where they come from. Every human life holds equal value, and it's on each of us to make sure that everyone is treated fairness, dignity, and respect they deserve. The world may not change overnight. Standing up for justice, like the people who supported Sarah, move us all closer to a future where equality isn't just a dream, but a reality.